So, Kat, what do you see is or are the key SLT roles for care of PDoC patients in this hyperacute setting?
I guess 3 key roles really. One is around regular involvement with the MDT in terms of assessment of awareness and being very clear about what diagnosis that person is being given, or what behaviours we're able to elicit, and crucially then linking to that, as a speech and language therapist, we're obviously really wanting to then look at, is there anything that particular individual is doing that would enable us to facilitate communication for that person, be it, is there a twitch of a thumb that they can then use volitionally that might then facilitate us working again with our OT colleagues very closely in relation to, say, switch control, or looking at low-tech AAC systems that might just enable a yes-no response in some way, that would enable that person to be able to convey anything more than they might otherwise, from what we've seen, be able to do. So I guess communication is a huge part of our role. Secondly, looking at potentially somebody, one of our big roles obviously is around swallowing management, and for many patients in PDoC, particularly at the lower end in a vegetative state, that may not be really even on the cards, but we can certainly look at whether or not something on their lip that might have been something that we know from gathering information from family was something that they really loved or enjoyed, whether or not that enables us to get any other sort of behavioural responses that would enable us to go, oh, they've definitely reacted to that specific stimuli. So we may not be using sort of tastes for nutrition and hydration purposes, but we would potentially be looking at using that from the perspective of, does that person do anything different when you start looking at gustatory type stimuli. So we definitely look at that as well, and then I guess the other area that I see our role here, particularly in a hyperacute setting, is around trachea management and working very much then closely with our physio colleagues at looking at weaning that tracheostomy, and that in itself links to communication and swallowing in many ways, because actually if we can then wean the tracheostomy, we can redirect airflow through the glottis. Does that enable anything that we haven't been able to see before? And obviously then just offering up opportunities in terms of getting that trachea out.